Hey, this is Miss Day. Welcome back. I'd like to do a tutorial today on how to draw eyes. There are several features that I want to point out to you. The upper and lower eyelids, the sclera, the iris, the pupil, the eyelashes, the eyebrows, and the tools that we're going to use, the blending stump, and we'll probably be using a 2B and a 6B pencil. Let me locate. Here's a 2B pencil. Alright, so first thing you need to know about drawing an eye is that you want to get the shape of the eye. The shape is sort of like a lemon or maybe like an almond shape. The main thing I want you to notice is that there is this little shape here on the inside of the eye, closest to the nose, that is different from the other side of the eye. The outside part of the eye just comes to a point because it's just a fold in the skin there. So we have our basic shape here. And what I would like for you to notice first, when you look in the mirror, you should be able to see the thickness of your eyelid. You should be able to see the skin, the thickness of the skin there, and you'll see this edge here in the fold. And when you get down here to this part, there's actually, if you look closely in the mirror, you should see a small black dot in your eye. You may have to pull your eyelid down just a little bit because it is kind of on this inner edge here. And that's the tear duct. Okay, that's your tear duct. And of course, we've also got some interesting things going on here in this corner of the eye. This is where when you blink and everything, it cleans your eye. All right, so this is the lower lid here, and this is the upper lid. And of course, everyone's eyelids are going to be shaped slightly different. So this is the lower lid, and this is the upper eyelid here. Now in here, this is going to be the white part of the eye, and that's called the sclera. Okay, the sclera. The next thing we're going to be looking for is the iris. The iris, this is the part of your eye when you say, what color are your eyes? You're talking about the iris. This is the muscle that opens and closes your pupil to let light in so that you can see images. The iris is a circle. Typically, there is sort of an outside edge to the iris that's darker. So I'm going to darken that up. And it usually sits right along the bottom lid, and part of it is covered up by the upper lid. If you can see the entire iris of the person's eye, then that means their eyes open really wide, which means they're surprised. So if you're trying to draw someone who is surprised or scared or startled, then that's when you would show that. So this is the iris. The next thing we're looking at is the pupil, and the pupil is it's a concentric circle. It's located directly inside, same distance. Okay, so it should be the same distance here. It's a concentric circle. So the pupil is concentric, which means it fits one inside the other. So this is the pupil here. The next thing you probably want to do when you're creating your drawing of the eye is you want to leave an area for a highlight before we start shading this in. If you want to help, give it that round feeling, I'm going to kind of block out this space here, and I'm also going to do another one here. Okay, so this part of the pupil would be and of course the pupil, the bigger it is, like in this particular sketch I'm doing right now, the pupil is pretty large, which that would mean that the person is in low light. The only way that your pupils would be this large is if you are in low light. When you go outside, your pupil will get very small. It will close up very tight so that only a little bit of that bright sunlight will be able to come in. I'm going to show you what I typically do when I'm trying to show the iris part of someone's eye. I like to have this outer edge dark here. And then I like to just put some kind of hatch marks back and forth, coming into, going towards that pupil, kind of radiating out from that pupil. Okay. And then this is the blending stump. This is what I have right here, blending stump. And so the blending stump, this wonderful little tool, will really help give you some nice grays. You just come back here and rub it across what you want to blend in. You don't use your finger. You don't want the oil from your finger getting on your drawing. You just come back in. Okay. So we've got the iris and the pupil looking pretty nice. What I would like for you to do now is I'd like for you to come back and do some shading actually in the sclera. Okay. This will really help give your drawing, your eye, that kind of 3D feel to it. Okay, when you start to show that this is actually a sphere inside here. Okay. All right, so The next thing we've got here is lashes, eyelashes. The thing about eyelashes is that they're not typically, students want to draw them coming straight out, and they're actually laying down. They actually come out right here on the edge of your upper lid. Your eyelashes come out, and they're some people, most people have kind of a curve to them. Not everyone. Some people's eyelashes are rather straight. You'll just have to look in the mirror and see. And then, of course, girls love to curl their eyelashes. And so then you really get kind of this, oops. Okay, so here's some lashes. The thing about lashes, if you start putting too many, can really kind of, I don't know, it can kind of push your drawing too far. But then if you don't put enough, it might not look quite right either. And so, you have lashes on your bottom lid also. And on my eyelid, I can kind of see a little, kind of where one's more a little bit like this. And it'll take practice on these eyelashes. They can be pretty tricky. On this eyelid, of course, I made this line here pretty dark. This is where, this is actually showing the fold in your skin, right? So you can come back in here again with this blending stuff and get a really nice kind of shadow going there. Alright, and this too is all these little glands and things in here. And typically I try to go back and soften this also, this line right here. And then of course there is a shadow up here on this part because that's actually the underneath part. And then eyebrows. We haven't even got to the eyebrows, and I'm running out of room up here. Let's see if I can squeeze these eyebrows in here. Alright, so as far as eyebrows go, typically your eyebrows, the hairs, pardon me, are sort of growing in towards the center of your face, and as they come get a little bit closer, this is when they start to stand up right here. Okay, they're standing up, and then as you start to come over, they're going to start to curve. Once you get to about this point here, this is the kind of the turning point. So your eyebrows are going to come around here until they get to this point. At that point, if you look in the mirror, you should be able to see actually some hairs that are coming down. Okay? And then that's where your eyebrow will turn and come down. So, you know, we can go back and continue to fill this in, right? So they're kind of coming this way, then they start to come up, they start to curve back this way. Remember, these are their hair, so you're going to actually draw these with the marks here so you can see. Okay. All right. So this is my tutorial of how to draw the eye. See you tomorrow when we talk about how to draw the nose. Bye.
Oh, it does have some nice black to it there. Hey, Liv, can you turn it down just a little bit? Thank you.
All right, so this is Miss Day, and what I was showing you is that the most basic way to show someone's nose with probably just the least amount of information is going to be where you just draw their nostril, this bottom part of their nose, and their other nostril. That is the most basic. The thing is that everyone's nose is shaped differently. And if you want to add more information to this, then you could take it to the next step. You could put the nostril, put this bottom part here, but then you could go back in and say, with your blending stump, you could put a little bit more information here on this bottom part of the nose. Let's see if I got some more. I want to add some graphite to this. Okay. Alright, are you okay, Olivia?
Yeah.
Alright, so what? So then you can add a little bit more information here and put the bridge up here of the nose with this blending stump. Okay, and so you can also put in, you know, this just a little bit of information about the nostril if you wanted to. Um, and this, should help your nose look a lot more realistic. Um, okay, and I think I mentioned that my dog chewed up my eraser. I might try another one here. And so I'm just going to come back here and take a little bit of this off. Thanks. Thank you. And that's, I think, just starting with this basic information here, and then developing it to add these other pieces. If you want to do one side with a darker value. Okay, another thing that I like to show students is just, is doing something, I call it the cobra, because it has these, it shows a little bit of the nostril here, and so then you come back and you just add your nostrils. Oops, I got a little bit carried away on that one. And I think this is a fairly decent nose. Has a little bit more information for the person that's looking at it compared to this one over here. So if you're really struggling, I would say start with this. If you're ready to develop it more, I would probably try putting the little cobra piece in there. If you're ready to really push yourself, try to go ahead and use the blending stump and draw the bridge up here of the nose. Everyone's nose is different. You have got to look in the mirror to see what your nose looks like. Good luck. Hey, it's Miss Day again, and now it's time for us to do a tutorial on drawing lips. And what I would like for you to notice when you look in the mirror is that the dark line, or the darkest line you will see when it comes to drawing your lips, is the line that is in between your lips. Okay, and I like to call these the bird because they remind me of kind of a flying bird that you see in the sky, a silhouette. So this is where the dark line will be. Okay, the rest of it really can be done with a blending stump. I'm going to put some graphite here on the paper. So I'm going to take my blending stump, rub it in my graphite, okay, and I'm going to actually, kind of draw my lips, draw these lips here, just with the blending stump. I noticed some people struggling with using the blending stump. The main thing you want to know is that, if there's nothing on the end of it, then it's not going to make a mark on your paper. I'm just going to see if I had one that was clean. I don't. You can see here though where I have rubbed it in the graphite in different areas. So this is kind of a clean area there. All this is tightly wound paper, and its purpose is to spread the graphite. So if you don't have any graphite on it, it's not going to make a mark on your paper. So now I'm just going to give the lips here some shading with the blending stump. The other thing I noticed is people trying to draw with it like a pencil. And this may work a little bit, but this is not how you shade with it. Okay? You lay it on its side. So, you know, this is how you're going to get the best use of this tool, is by laying it on its side. And of course I would like to move my paper around, but I've got it set up with these pictures and all that. So I'm going to go back and clean up some of this with the... So, you know, the mark that's, or the line that's around the edges of the lip should be very light. As a matter of fact, when you draw the face and you put the whole thing together, what you'll probably notice is that actually there's a white or flesh colored line that goes around the edge of the lips. So what'll happen is you will use the blending stump to kind of put in the philtrum, which is that little spot that's this kind of little alley or crease or whatever that runs between the mouth and the nose. And then we'll have kind of a shadow here on the lip, upper lip, underneath the nose. So that, you know, this shadow is what will kind of make it appear for there to be like a white line above the lip. Here, let's look over here at this nose. So we've got this nice nose here. And really the darkest lines on the nose are where the nostrils are, and then this crease right here on the side where the nostrils are touching the face. You know, this bottom part of the nose should be done with a blending stump. It just leaves a much softer mark. And so the philtrum is this little, it's like a little gutter that comes down here. And then, you know, the lips will be right in here. So I'm going to put this line. And this will be the darkest. Okay. This other part, when I teach it with charcoal, we usually use we use the charcoal from that center line of the lips to pull it down. To show the bottom lip. And the same thing with the top lip too. We pull that. Pull the charcoal, or in this case graphite, pull the graphite up. So, you know, it's a big mistake I see, very common mistake, is to draw that black line around the lips. And if you look in the mirror, you're going to see that's actually, it really is a white, it is a white line. Surprisingly, there's a white line the top of the lips. You'll see there's a shadow under the nose here. So this dark line, this is the line that where the two lips touch. That's really the darkest part. The nose, it's the nostrils. You know, everyone's lips are shaped differently. You're going to have to look in the mirror to see the exact shape of your lips. Don't be afraid to use your eraser as a drawing tool. So, main thing about lips, do not do banana lips. Banana lips basically look like a banana, right? This is a banana lips. Right? Well, guess what? This looks like a banana. Okay, so don't do that unless you're drawing a banana. And remember, when you're drawing your lips, also you don't want to use one of these dark, like this is a 2B. You don't want to use one of these 2B pencils to you know, draw the outside edge of your lips here. Right? Because guess what? It's going to be really hard to erase, and when you draw the lines like that, it makes it look flat. Okay, this makes it look flat. Oh my goodness. Okay, alright, so don't do the dark outline. We want a light. Alright, we want a light outline. We want a dark line in between the lips. Okay, this little bird right here is different on every person. You're going to have to really look at your lips to see what that line looks like where your two lips touch. So I'm just using this blending stump. I have it laid on its side here. You know, this part right here is laying on the paper. I'm not drawing with it like a pencil. Okay, that would just really mess up the tip. Okay, I've got it laid down. Alright. Here again, don't be afraid to use this blending stump. This eraser as a drawing tool. If you want to put some lines on your lips, you just need to look very closely and see what those look like. And this is that little filtrum right here. It comes up. There's a shadow here under the nose. Okay. So remember, no dark line on the edge. We're not doing banana lips. Okay. This, and if you, when you do this, it's going to make it look flat. No banana lips, no dark outline, makes it look flat. Pardon me. Remember, blending stump to shade the lips in. Uh-oh. Looks like that's for me. Gotta go. Bye-bye.